Hey there, Janice. It's Donna, and I'm making this little presentation for you about outlining your ebook to give you some ideas based on your survey of things that you could do, and also give you some ideas in general so you can write many ebooks if you want. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the format. So this presentation for you, and first I want to talk about the title of your ebook. You want to know that it can come later. You don't have to decide it right now, but maybe you want to have a working title for yourself to help give you direction for your ebook. And what you want your title to do is actually capture the essence of the presentation. What I'm going to outline for you is a way that you could do a presentation and turn that into an ebook. And of course, it's all about your message, right? So it's all about capturing the essence of your message, and you don't want to be too clever in doing that. But instead, ebook titles, presentation titles, you want to make them more straightforward. Then what the, sorry, I have a navigation bar here in the way, what the presentation is about. So what you want to be covering in the first part of your outline is what you're going to be covering. So it's kind of like a speaker who says, let me tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then I'll tell you, and then I'll tell you what I just told you. And so you want it to just kind of discuss in your presentation about, you know, what points you're going to make, things in general, and also why it's a good idea to know these points. So kind of a reminder about why you're doing this in the first place and why the viewer or the listener is there as well, what they will learn. And then after that, who the presentation is for, you'll want to actually identify your audience and what they're after. And I just put this front and center in my presentations. It's like who you are, just so make sure everybody's on the same page, not only about what the presentation will be about, but who it will benefit. And right there, it's an indicator of, like, say, for instance, in my case, if they were expecting a presentation about how to write a fiction book or a novel, well, I'm not your gal for that. So I talk about having the book as a big business card and the different structures of a how-to book or a quote book plus and things like that. And then they can know that they're in the wrong place if they're there to write a fiction book, and they can leave, which is fine. So you want to talk about your audience and what they're after, what they're there for, and then also what problem or challenge they have and how you will solve it. And that's something I want to talk about specifically with you and your ideas about showing people how to grow an online business. All right. So then you want to describe why you're the one. And these are these credibility factors that let the audience know that you know what you're talking about and why you're the one to give this presentation or to write this ebook. And then you want to make a specific break in your content and in your presentation about, all right, let's get started. Let's get in the information. So the people who say it's a presentation, the people who've been zoning out a little bit, they'll snap to attention now because you're actually going to get started with the information. Where there are other people and they're more interested in who you are, who they are, they really dig that kind of stuff. And the presentation, they'll be interested in it, but they like the beginning stuff. So you'll have something for all audiences. And then you'll just go through your points. Point 1, point 2, I think I listed like 5 here. And also then giving them some instructions about what to do next. So let's look at this in regards to your area of expertise. And when you filled out the survey, you said the shorthand that best describes what you do is web strategist. I know obviously you and I have been talking since, and we've kind of honed in a little bit, both, well, actually kind of spread the umbrella about what you do and then talked about specific things that you could have an ebook about. And if you recall, I showed you how you want to make the ebook very specific, that inch wide, mile deep, but it's part of the larger message. So it's underneath the umbrella of a larger message. So you said that you help out in your survey, I help entrepreneurs grow their business online with social media. You've been doing this for 5 years or more. Let's see. You help, the main problem you solve for people is I help entrepreneurs get more visibility, more exposure, more visitors to the website, and build strong relationships to increase customer base. So right there, I know that you and I talked previously about different little mini subjects that you could do an ebook about, but even right here, you could do an ebook specifically about visibility, exposure, or visitors to the website, building that list or getting traffic to your website. So you could pick one of those. I'll probably pick one for you in just a moment, just to give you an example of how laying out these points work. Also, in your survey, you say that you've taught workshops about how to grow your business with Facebook, LinkedIn, and WordPress. And then, all right, merci beaucoup. Oh, here's one thing. On a scale of 1 to 100, how awesome are you? And you put down 80. I will tell you that I'm always surprised how nobody ever puts down 100%. When people ask 100, when people ask me how awesome I am on a scale of 1 to 100, I tell them 1,000. So you really want, this is just kind of a little indicator to me where you are in your mindset. I want you to start to adopt the attitude that you are awesome. Okay, so let me just kind of show you how this works by picking one of these subjects. So let's say about gaining more visibility for your online business. So going back kind of towards the top here, the title, you would want to have something about gaining online visibility for your business. So work with some of those words in your title, and then talk about what you'll be covering. I say I'm kind of going back and forth. It's both a presentation and your ebook. I'll say for this, I'll call it a presentation, because what I want to do is show you how you can quickly outline a presentation here and then get it transcribed and use it as the basis of your ebook. So you're talking about how to create more online visibility. And here you kind of want to talk a little bit in general, maybe in general about the types of businesses this would be good for, the types of personalities this would be good for, just in general terms, to start to warm up the audience to what you're going to be discussing. And then who the presentation is for, so you do a deeper look or a more extensive look about your audience and what problems or challenges they have regarding online visibility, and then how you are going to give some starter tips in this presentation to help them out. And the reason I say starter tips is because you're not writing, a full, thousands of pages about this or thousands of words, but this is going to be an ebook. And it's also an indicator that there's more to come from you, or that you have more to offer. And so that just kind of plants the seed that's like, oh, if I want to know more about this, I can contact Janice. Then you want to talk about your credibility factors. And I'm surprised that you've only been about 5 years or more in this business. I would think it'd been a lot longer. You're so well versed in it, but that's probably just an example of how you immerse yourself in something and become really good at it. So maybe that's even some of the things that you want to talk about in your credibility factors, how you tend to obsess over a topic until you really learn the ins and outs of it. That would be a real credibility builder for the audience. So like, okay, I want to learn from this woman about this. And then you have that break, so let's get started in increasing your online visibility. And then in here, you can talk about, for your first point actually could be, well, defining online visibility. What is that all about? What does it mean? And then also you could talk about in point 2, why is it important to have? And this is an area where you could kind of go on and on about how important it is to have online visibility. And then your next 3 points could be like, here are 3 ways to increase your online visibility. 1, make sure that all your social media profiles are up to date. Number 2, make sure your website is up to date. Here are some tips for that. And number 3, here's perhaps like a surprising idea that you've never really considered that could help increase your online visibility. And here's where you could kind of throw something in that would surprise people, maybe something like Instagram or Periscope, or start a podcast. It's not as hard as you think it is. Something that kind of jolts them awake a little bit rather than the expected. and then give them some tips about what to do next and in their approach to increasing their online visibility. All right. So hopefully you've been taking some notes while I've been going over these different points and how you could do it. But even just giving the presentation and having that transcribed, and I know you and how thorough you are, you'd be well on your way to having that ebook done. Not necessarily that you have to do it during ebook and weekend this way, but some way to approach it for other ebooks. Or you could do it this way if you like. All right, let me know if you have any questions, Janice. Thank you so much. Take care.